Hey everyone, it's another Friday and another time for Q&A with Alan and Marshall. I'm Marshall Atkinson,
I'm Alan Howe with Easy Way Systems.
and welcome to our show.
Our show, our little show.
I can't believe we're still doing this thing. It's really awesome. So,
Who knew?
it's really fun to it's like a habit almost, right? So,
I have to. I had other things that were coming up on my calendar and having to go, can't do it, can't do it.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, anyway, so thank you so much for joining us, whether you're joining us live or you're watching us as we're recording or listening to us on the podcast. We really appreciate you guys. And thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to have a really fun show today. I think we've got just an amazing lineup of things to talk about. But if our topics don't match what you want to say or a question that you have, feel free to change it.
Absolutely.
You guys have the power. Okay. I don't know if you know that or not, but we're here to serve you,
Yep.
And so we want to know if you've got something that you need to talk about, or it's really bugging you, or you got a problem with a technique or something in your shop. Now's the time to get it out. And all you got to do is put it in the chat.
Yep.
But what should they be doing right now with that chat, Alan?
Well, they need to in the chat first tell us if you're watching, who you are and where you're located at, so we can say good morning and thank you and recognize you. But also, we want you guys right now to hit share and share this with everybody else, because we want them to be able to download it, go see other episodes, and hopefully they'll be a part of it.
Yeah. And we know we get our share of lurkers, people who just watch and don't ever say anything,
Yep.
So, and that's okay if that's you, but we would rather you participate, because that's where the real fun is.
Well, I don't know if I mentioned, when we were in Impressions, I had a guy that GSG, the Ohio rep, called me and said he's going to be out there at Long Beach. He's going to come meet you. He's from Rhode Island. And you know how he found GSG? Our show.
Yeah.
He was buying everything else from someone else. And, he listens every week, knew everything about us, but he's never live. He just watches it afterwards.
Yeah, good. Well, a lot of people don't watch live, and we know that because we look at the numbers, and that's because, they're busy doing whatever they're doing, right? And so we try to have this so it's convenient, but, let's face it, work comes first, and we'd rather you guys be making money, right? So,
and it does for us. We can't be here in our schedules every time. In a couple of weeks, you're going to have the illustrious Mark Soldonic filling in for me, as I will be in transit.
That's right.
Over
another Filipino trip.
Another trip to the Philippines. Yep.
Yeah. So you're eventually just going to move there, I think.
Actually, that's kind of a plan. I would love to retire there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. So hey, we got some folks joining us. So let's say hello. So Chris is here today. Good morning. And by the way, I saw that picture with your logo on it that you shared on Facebook, the big A looking thing, and or whatever that is, and really liked it. That was a really cool design. So thanks for sharing that.
Looked great.
And Cindy's here from Texas.
Good morning, Cindy, as always.
And Woo Mitchell Studios. Hey, y'all.
Yep.
I relate to the word y'all. I'm from the South. I use that word.
My mom and grandmother from Alabama. Y'all was just in that.
Yeah. Hey, y'all.
Yep.
Ruben's here from Quality Prints in Oak Lawn, Illinois.
I've actually been there.
Yeah. So. Right. And then Hurley here says I watch and work at the same time. So that's good.
A lot of people do. A lot of people are working and listen, and they just never chat. First one I noticed is when I was in Tucson at Aztec Embroidery.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So that's all cool. So you've been traveling this week, Alan. Where were you?
I was in Southern Ohio and Cincinnati, and Indiana, working with the dealer. Had some amazing calls, very pointed, scheduled appointments for specific things, and panning out is on auto reclaim.
Yeah, cool.
So, but some shops I'd never been into, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I didn't go anywhere. I've been working all week. My next trip is in 2 weeks. I'll be in Kentucky for most of the week. So,
Oh, really? We're in Kentucky.
I'm going to two shops for my Adventures in Apparel decorating show that I do for Jersey. So I'll be at Blue Cotton in Bowling Green, and then I'm going to see Heather and Melissa
at Replica.
At Replica. Yep.
So, I've been to both.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, cool. So we got a really great lineup today. And before we can get to that, we got to pay some bills. So we want to share a little commercial for GSG. And as always, we want to thank them for your sponsorship. Yep. We really appreciate it. And let's roll that commercial.
GSG, the combination of over half a century of knowledge with industry-leading technology and the customer at the center of everything that we do. Graphic Solutions Group is a powerhouse distributor of traditional screen, sign, wide format digital printing, embroidery, and textile decorating. We are committed to our customers, providing support, educational, and consulting services. Your success is our success. We've seen these industries grow and change in our 70 years. One thing never changes: GSG's dedication providing the best products and services available. We've been around, we'll be around, from the highs and the lows, standing right here with you. GSG, the right products, right away.
All right. Well, that was really great. And thanks again to GSG. We got some more comments here. Let's get them out of the way, and then we'll jump into our topic. So Hurley says, to think I just about printed that design last year in 2D. I know he is cornering the market on high density.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Richard's listening today.
And driving.
While he's driving. So please don't wreck and text.
Right.
So happy you're here. Thank you, Richard. And Peter's here. Good morning on our bright blue sky winter's day from M&R HQ in Roselle, Illinois. And Peter, I want to extend my condolences to the passing of your brother. I know what that, kind of what that means to you. And so just want to just say that real quick. And
yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so don't want to drag that down, but just want to get that out there. So,
yep. And no, Peter, our thoughts are with you and your family on that. So,
right. Yeah. All right. So our first topic today is, and of course, we're going to back after the show, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl, but I really wanted to start today talking about hot market printing. So if you've never heard this term before, this is kind of like after the game, you're printing a bunch of stuff or embroidering the hats or whatever. And this could be, of course, Super Bowl, but this could be collegiate. This could be also high school. This could be anything that you're doing immediately after, where there's something that just happened and now you're doing some stuff, right? Yep. I've done hot market printing when I was running shops for years. And let me tell you, success is all about being organized, being proactive, and doing things long before the game starts, right? And it's really about understanding what you got to do and knowing and being prepared. So I'm just curious if anybody that's watching, will you be doing hot market for the Super Bowl or anything coming up, right? Just, could be your high school, could be a collegiate thing. March, I've done March Madness, right? I've done collegiate championships. I've done high school stuff. I've done hockey, Stanley Cup. I've done Super Bowl, of course, and I've done that through various companies, including Nike. So lots and lots of experience doing that in my way. So happy to help with any of those questions that you might have. Just kind of throwing that out there.
And it's funny because if you've never done it, most people think, Marshall, that you have to be, since it's Super Bowl, Kansas City and Philadelphia, that you have to be in the Philadelphia area or the Kansas City area. And that's not true.
Yeah.
Here in Michigan, there's a company that I deal with, and they were doing Houston Astros World Series shirts.
Yeah.
Because if you ever wonder how those shirts are in the store that
Everywhere.
morning,
yeah,
there's a reason, because there was a local printer that had them done by 4 a.m. so they could be on a shelf at 8 a.m. when the store opened.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So most of these agreements that you do with these big companies that do that, they have trucks that are going to come by at designated times, 1 a.m, 2 a.m, 3 a.m, and so forth. And you have to have a certain number of shirts printed so it hits that truck, because that truck is going to go to Athletic Attic, or that's going to go to Dick's Sporting Goods, or whatever it is. And they have agreements with all these different retailers. And that's how that works. And usually I loved hot market printing. And here's why, is because it is an all hands to the deck experience.
Yep.
And of course, your production staff has to come in. Okay. But we would always require the front office folks, the art department, the sales team, customer service, because I think, and it really is an enlightening thing when your customer service team has to come out and they're going to be taping up boxes or putting hologram stickers on, or just the busy work that you have to do.
Yep.
And they really learn what it's like to stand up all day for a shift on your feet and be doing a repetitive task. And let me tell you, a lot of times after those experiences, they have a deeper appreciation for the production crew, because they really don't understand what it's like to work out there in the back. They might walk through occasionally, but they don't know that you're just standing there that whole time doing this one thing, and they don't appreciate it at all until they're actually doing that. And hot market was always a good chance for that to happen. And so I really always loved that, just for that one thing alone.
Yeah, for team building.
It is team building. And the other really cool thing about hot market printing, I think, is that, it's some easy work, right? So your expectations from these companies really is only about 300 to 350 shirts an hour. They're not really asking you to crank some stuff out, because they're going with a lower amount, because not everybody is a speedy printer, right? So it's very conservative numbers. So if you have the ability to like really exceed that, because we were always way over that, you're easily crushing these numbers. I mean, you're just banging this stuff out. But here's some things that we always did. We always had a second set of screens for every design. Sometimes you're printing multiple designs. So in case a screen pops, you can just throw one back in. You don't have to burn one now. You have a complete duplicate set of screens. Also, long before Super Bowl Sunday, Wednesday or Thursday, we're setting up and we're testing the print to make sure everything registers and everything's lined up. And then on Saturday, I always had the crew come in, and we were setting up on Saturday morning for Sunday night printing.
Yep.
And that way everything's ready to go. All we got to do is flip the switch. We have shirts loaded on carts. We've got everything ready to go for the initial amount. And then we wouldn't bust everything open, though, in case, especially if you're only doing one team. So let's say you're only doing the Eagles, or you're only doing the Chiefs, right? You would have enough to get you going for the first hour or so. And then that's it, because you don't want to have to put everything back in boxes should that team lose, right? So you're just making it easier for yourself. You can always open up boxes and throw them onto a cart or something later. You want to make sure that you're controlling your people. So one of the things we've learned is that the fun thing to do is to throw a Super Bowl party at your shop in the break room with a TV, and you're got the nachos and the whatever else you're grilling out, but you're not serving alcohol, of course, because you can't have drunk people printing.
No.
Because if you're relying on people to come in and they're watching the game at a bar and they have 2 or 3 pitchers of beer, that's going to be a problem for you. So we control that experience by having a party for everybody, and it's just a get together thing. I've had instances where we would print for both teams.
Yep.
Which is kind of a fun thing. And so you got half your presses set up with one team, half the presses set up with another team. And then whoever loses, of course, now you got to switch the other half out, and so that means your setup crew has to be really on it and you're prepared, but you're already printing shirts as soon as that game is over. And then a lot of times you can't print until you get the call. And so there's 2 scenarios there. Let's say it's like 40-10, you might get the call and the 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter to start printing, but nobody is printing until the client says go, right? And because as soon as you print those shirts, they own them, right? Yep. So a lot of folks will print team color, but they'll also print neutral colors like white, black, or some sort of gray, because then you can put any team on that, right? And so that's always a good, cool deal, right? But so you might not be printing red or green shirts as much, just because it's easier you could print either team on those white shirts, right?
Yep.
Team color shirts, I think, sell better, right? So, but it's just a matter of the stock, right? Also, if you're doing stuff for people, you're going to want to open up every single box that comes in to check for color and size when they get delivered. And I can tell you from personal, we were printing some shirts one time for a company, and I'm not going to name names, but they sent us a semi-truck of shirts, and the team color was blue, and all those boxes of shirts were marked blue, but every single shirt in the box was green.
That's a problem.
And we got that delivery on Friday before the Super Bowl. And so it's one of these things. We actually got the next delivery on Saturday. But if we hadn't opened those shirts, we would have had a big surprise on Sunday. Mm-hmm. So it really pays to open up and look at this stuff, because then you can solve your problem, right?
Right. So, also, Marshall, too, if there's a special ink color, because some of these are PMS colors, and you have to have those matched ahead of time.
Yeah.
You need to make sure with your supplier, because if the team doesn't win, you're going to have that ink. Will he take it back? Can it be repurposed?
Yeah. Well, a lot of times you're using a metallic gold sometimes because there's a trophy or something, right? So that's liquid gold or whatever you're using, right? Do you have enough? You can't just assume you have it, because sometimes there's a bucket on the shelf and you open it up and there's half the bucket's gone, right?
Yep.
So you want to make sure you take inventory on things, right? And this is all about being prepared long before the event.
I know when I worked for distributors and we would have Hot Market, I worked for one in Pittsburgh, and the Penguins and Steelers were winning big. They were in the Super Bowl one year. Right. The Penguins were, so there was always Hot Market going on.
What's really smart about those teams is the fact that they all use the same colors, gold and black.
Yeah, but the gold's different on the Steelers than the Penguins.
Is it?
Yeah, yes, a little bit.
Oh, I thought it was the same color.
I don't think so, because I know.
I think Steelers is 123. What is the Penguins?
I don't remember. But it's not just a standard gold.
Right.
So we would also, during Hot Market, we would deliver knowing they had it. So we'd have it in stock, and we would deliver that day to them.
The Pirates is black and gold too, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So
Pirates weren't winning then. So but so you got to check with your supplier, make sure they have enough ink.
Right.
So yeah, just don't assume, they'll have it, but it's a weekend. Are they going to be open? Are they there?
Well, so what you do is you ask way before and you order it, and as long as you don't open the bucket, can you return it? That's what
absolutely.
Um, all right. So,
and I think the other thing people get in trouble with hot market is, like you said, it's all about people. There is an exorbitant amount of work to be done in a window of time. So you got to have that.
Right. Okay. So got a couple comments. Let's get to our next topic. So Peter thanks us for our condolences. Appreciate you, Peter.
Absolutely.
Cindy obviously is rooting for the Eagles. Just kidding. Lyra's here. Hey, Lyra. Good to see you. That's my virtual assistant, by the way.
Watching. Yep, I'm going to be visiting the Philippines, Lyra, but not in Mindanao, where you are.
Yeah. So she's in Davao City, right? Where's that?
Mindanao, capital. Okay. It's the capital of Mindanao. Davao, I think, is the third largest city in the Philippines.
Yeah, right.
Manila, Cebu City is in Davao.
Where are you going?
I'm going to be in Bacolod, which is the island is Negros Oriental or Occidental. There's a north and south, and then I'm going to be in Manila, and then I will be in Cebu City.
So of course somebody chimed in with the right color. So Penguin's gold is 435 and yellow is 1235, same as the Steelers.
Mr. Mark Soldonic, who's from Pittsburgh.
Oh, yes, right. Yeah. Yeah. So y'all should visit and have some durian.
No, it's durian.
Durian.
And I've had durian, Lyra, but I'm going to pass on that. Durian is you either love it or you hate it. Marshall,
what is it?
Huh?
What is it?
It's a fruit, and somehow can you still see
it? Like really sour?
No, it actually has a odor, where it has a real pungent smell. In fact, there's many places that it says no durian allowed.
So it's like a cantaloupe where it smells like garbage?
It smells awful.
Oh, okay.
But you either love it or you hate it.
So Dean says, huge hot market printing operations here in Ohio. Happy Friday, guys. I'll be watching just for the commercials. The Browns will never make the Super Bowl.
That's all right. The Lions never win. So
Lyra says, haha, because it stinks but tastes. I'm sure that's supposed to be good, right?
It does. The texture, Lyra, the taste is okay if you can get past the smell. I'm not real big on the texture of it.
Yeah. All right.
And then the other thing in the Philippines, everybody asks, have I tried is a food called balut. And I've never tried it. I can't do it.
Yeah. What is that, like fish eyeballs or something? What is that?
I know I've had fish eyes and stuff, fish eyeballs before. Balut is fermented duck embryo in the shell.
Great.
That's boiled.
I wouldn't eat that either.
You know what? You either love it or hate it. Put a little vinegar on it.
Yeah, it just sounds gross.
My boss, Alex, has had it.
Yeah.
See, she's right there. So,
yeah. So, all right. So, next topic. So, if you're doing hot market printing, let us know. Would love to, whatever. Our next thing is hire pros and let them work. And so the reason we wanted to talk about this is I think a lot of times business owners especially tend to micromanage their teams instead of just saying, hey, we've hired you for your skills and your expertise. You do the work. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what happens a lot of times, there's a term that I use for this called the mother may I syndrome, which is everybody has to check with you before you do something, right? Mm-hmm. So if the reason why you guys don't get a lot done in your shop is because everybody has to come to you for the next thing to do or approval on this or whatever, can't you just train them to figure that out and to go ahead and know what to do next? Or here's where you go to find the answer and just let them run with their operation. And I was talking with the shop this week, and we were talking about production meetings, and I was telling them how my opinion on that, which is having a production meeting with the sales and the production meeting every single day where we talk about what we're going to do today is just a gigantic, expensive waste of time.
Yep.
You guys have a shop system, whether it's Shopworks or Printavo or Monday or whatever it is. How come you can't just look up the answer so everybody knows what we're doing today and Monday and Tuesday and Thursday of next week or whatever?
Yep.
And that when we're building out every department of what we're supposed to be doing, and you're trusting your team to actually execute the plan, that's what we should be doing. And that way you don't have to be so involved, right? So what's your comment on this, Alan?
Well, I see it in a couple ways like that. But then I also see it. I was actually in a shop, which is a big ad specialty shop. And you know what? And actually my friend Brian Walker from Inkjet Technologies, he's been on the show with us.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about this. When as an entrepreneur, you build something and it grows, that ends up being your baby. And no matter how big it is, you just can't let go. And I was in a shop which is very successful, doing well. The owner has achieved more than I'll ever do, but he's in his 70s. He does not know life without that, and he doesn't trust his people. He says he does, but when you're in a plant, they're saying, no, he doesn't. He's got to have his fingers in everything, and what it's doing is killing the company from the inside out.
Right. It's like a fungus.
It is. He's not meaning to. He thinks he's giving him leeway, but he's really not. And that's the problem. One, it's difficult to work in that situation because you have people that really care and really want to see the company succeed, but they're afraid to either make a decision because they haven't been able to give in the room to fail and to make, a mistake and fix that mistake.
Well, also, Ken, a lot of times in companies, not just in this industry, but any industry, it's really difficult to speak truth to power.
Oh, yeah.
What happens is you can't tell the emperor they have no clothes.
Oh, absolutely.
As soon as you open your mouth, you're fired or you're demoted or you don't get a promotion or they see you as a threat or whatever. And I've worked at companies like that. And let me tell you, it just doesn't ever work out. Right. Yeah. And it ends badly usually. And so what happens is good people leave because they feel like nobody's listening to me. I'm not valued. I'm not appreciated. They might have a skill set that's really awesome, but the fact that the leader is threatened by that becomes a big challenge. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys experience any of that stuff, but, maybe the reason why your company is you have the problems that you do. It could be you. You could be the biggest problem, right? And sometimes it's really good to have some self reflection and introspection to find out, am I the cause of the problem?
Right.
And let me tell you, I'm the biggest problem usually in my company. It's me, right? It's like I will raise my hand. It's me. I know it, right? Yeah. And then so what can I do to do things better, right? And
but that goes to you're able to speak truth to power, but I think when it becomes a mature relationship, you can say to that authority over you and that person in charge, you know what? Here's my feelings. It may not be right, but here's what I'm feeling. But I respect what you're doing, and fine, let's go. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times employees are scared to say stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Which means that you don't have a good enough relationship that you think you do.
Right.
You think you have an open door policy and whatever, but if people don't tell you things, you don't.
Yep. And and it happened. I mean, Marshall, let's face it, you and I had a discussion today. Marshall and I work on a committee. We're not going to say it is together. Marshall's the chairman of shocking. And, I had to miss a meeting, but he was telling me about it. And I'm going, yeah, I don't see it. I think these people are blowing smoke, yada, yada, yada. And Marshall's the calm. And I said, I want them to die. I said, my feelings are, I want them to die. And Marshall goes, yeah, I understand that, but here's the direction. But you know what? I trust his leadership. I go, you're right. Let's go.
Well,
but I had to get that out of there.
To me, you have to give people a chance, right?
Absolutely.
And so, anyway, I don't want to get all into that, but
but I'm just showing that never changes, no matter how old, how experienced, who it is.
Well,
It still comes down to you trust the leadership and go with it.
The big challenge is that people are emotionally tied into things.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you don't reciprocate or acknowledge that somebody has passion or something, or they want to contribute it, and you've maligned them or discarded them or whatever, eventually what happens, you just throw up their hands, you say, why do I care? I don't need to do stuff. And that's where that whole term quiet quitting comes from. It's like,
absolutely.
I'm just going to participate and you don't want to know, I'm whatever, I'm just here. And when you have employees like that, what happens is it really hurts your company. You might not even know about it because
exactly.
You're really trying to control things, but in the end, that you're squeezing things so tight that nobody can have any room, and people just disengage and they just quit on you. And they become what I call clock punchers, where we're just here, we don't care.
It becomes, and I understand the passion of starting a business and growing to that. But, the saying is, the tighter you squeeze, the more they're going to slip through your fingers. It's the Play-Doh effect. You squeeze it so tight, it starts coming out through your fingers. And that's what happened. You're squeezing so tight, it is just hemorrhaging all over the place.
Why do I have a Chris Farley skit in my head?
Exactly.
Oh, heck.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you've killed your sale. But that can happen.
From Tommy Boy, isn't it? From Tommy
It is from Tommy Boy. And on the sales side, you can say, that's my customer, stay away from them. But you know what? That might be your customer, your territory, but you have a team behind you, and you got to listen to that team.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we're just blind to our own, failure.
Well, you get nose blind, right? And so it's like, this is how, and you're a cat owner, right? So this is how you could walk into somebody's house that owns a cat, and you're like, oh my God, how do they live here? Because all they smell is a litter box, and people that live there don't smell it at all because you're used to it, right? And so I think it's, we're nose blind a lot of times to our own BS.
Yep, absolutely.
And I love it when people call me out on things, because that's the only way I'm going to know to change, right? And I have my crazy way of thinking and operating and whatever, but that doesn't mean I'm always right. And I just do my best. So,
and sometimes we think we're more valuable than we really are too.
Right. So, got some comments here. It's duck embryo.
Yep.
She doesn't eat it either. And then Mark says, the smell evokes reactions from deep appreciation to intense disgust, and has been described variously as rotten onions, turpentine, and raw sewage.
Mark is talking about durian. Lyra is talking about balloon.
Oh, okay. Great. Yeah. I don't want to eat that either, right? And
in resorts and in Thailand and stuff like that, where durian is real popular, it will have no durian allowed.
Yeah. So Dean says, amen. Waste of time meetings were a bane for my ad firm existence. Just keep the team in line and learn to hire smart people. Trust them and let them soar. Use your time to work on bigger picture project and focus on growth. Right, exactly. And I don't mean that, you can't have rules, you can't have standards, you can't have, expectations. That's great. We can still have meetings. My whole thing is that, if you're going to have a meeting, it should be focusing on, there's going to be an action that's going to happen after the meeting. Right. If you're just transmitting information and you have a meeting about, here's our new policy, that could have been in an email, right? Yeah. What we're talking about here is trusting people, like, to go sell or to go produce or to burn screens or to design a job or whatever. The more that you micromanage that, the less output and good things will happen. But you still got to train them. You still got to support them. You still got to make sure that they're comfortable. And there's a lot of things that happen with that. So, just hire really smart, talented people and let them go. Right. That's my position. So, all right. And Brandon here says, durian smells awful, but tastes great.
Yeah. A lot of people like it. It's you either love it or hate it. There's no in between.
By the way, Brandon, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
What a great What a great picture.
And Brandon, where are you located at?
He's in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. So we're about halfway through. So we got a little, what are we doing? We've got our Go GSG. Time for our little commercial.
Absolutely.
And let me get that dialed up here. And so today we want to talk about the Go GSG Pulse. And of course, the textile one's not out yet. So this is still the sign one. And today, get rid of that. Something I didn't know they had was digital service virtual visits. So this is how they can service your equipment virtually. And they've got a whole thing on the GSG Pulse about how that works. And you can schedule your virtual visit in 3 easy steps, and it just walks you right through that. And I think it's really important that if you're buying equipment, one of the things that you need, of course, is quality service. And here's a great way that GSG is helping out with that. So we kind of wanted to highlight that real quick. What are your thoughts on that, Alan?
Well, I think it's incredible. Now, this is their digital service, and this is off their sign pulse, which I'm imagining it's for their Rollins and their wide format printers. But this is still incredible, because if you're all of a sudden getting problems, it might be a quick fix where you don't need a technician to come out. And if one of their techs can just virtually say, here's the problem, walk you through on fixing it, man, that is time, money, and profit. All equipment is good, but it's all about what happens after the sale. And this is huge.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times with equipment, sometimes it's not the machine, it's you.
Most of the time,
A lot of times it's me. The reason why this thing won't work is because, I forgot to plug it in.
Yeah, it's me. I get it.
So,
no, 100% right. And I think this is incredible. Just another thing that GSG is doing, just that it's not about just selling you something. They are a partner with you, and it's all about partnership.
Yep.
So that is incredible.
So anyway, so reach out to them at gogsg.com, and appreciate that. Our next,
I know, not to harp on that, they're our sponsor, but they also have at their branches, there is an open house in Ohio on February 23rd. Their branch is moved to a new location. There's an open house. Look at that on their website. If you're in that Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana area, you may want to stop by. Yeah. I unfortunately cannot be there since I am on a plane that day.
Yeah. Great. Okay. So our next thing we wanted to share was the idea that you must be present to win. And we have a photograph has surfaced this week that really illustrates this. And we have it right here. So let's show it. And then, Alan, I want you to describe, what are we seeing here?
Sure. Well, what we're seeing is a basketball game, and that's LeBron James taking a shot. It's a fadeaway jumper. But if you look in the middle and the lower part of the picture, there was one guy sitting there with his hands clasped, just watching the game. If you look at everybody else around, they have phones out taking a picture. Now, that man is the owner of Nike.
Phil Knight.
Phil Knight. And what he is doing right there, he is engaged and present in the game. And you know what? We work so much with the virtual, with the digital, and sometimes, man, he is just there enjoying it. And, he's watching the game. I haven't been to a professional basketball game in years. I used to get 20 block tickets of the Cavs, and I loved it because I was engaged in the game. And that's what this is. So we have to be present to win. Sometimes we can get caught up with the podcast, what our competition's doing, what we're doing, all the numbers, the KPIs, all good. But you got to be present. What's going on with your people? What's really going on with your company on there? Not just the what's on the spreadsheet.
Yeah. And I think this is really important also, because this is sometimes just good manners, right? So have you ever been in a meeting with somebody who you're talking to them and they're just constantly looking at their phone or looking at their screen on their computer, and you're talking, but they're not listening to you. right?
Yeah.
I think this is a really good lesson for all of us, just to be present in what's going on. When we're having a meal with our family, hey, phones down. In fact, don't even bring it to the table, right? That type of stuff. And, we all have rules and stuff about that. But, if you're going to a trade show like we just did Long Beach, you need to be present in the class that you're attending, or you need to be actually seeking things out and really enjoying things and what is going on. And you have a little mini mission to discover something, right? And I think a lot of times in life, we just kind of limp along. And of course, all these people wanted to take a picture of LeBron surpassing Kareem's point total, which is just an amazing thing in itself, right? But, that picture of him doing it is going to be everywhere, right? Did you really need it on your phone, right? I don't know. I mean, I go to live sporting events and I've taken pictures, but usually they come out, the people are little ants. And of course, everybody in this frame, I mean, what do you think those tickets went for? They're probably $3,000 a piece or whatever.
At least.
So, it's just one of these things where, I don't know. I just want to throw that out there. You must be present to win. And I think that's just something to keep in the back of your head. Would love y'all's thoughts on it. So
I think too, Marshall, you and I live on our phone, on text, on email, on phone calls. And I always have my phone with me, even when I'm in a meeting, but usually I put it on silent and I set it face down. Now, there are times where I have to see what's calling. There have been times where my mom, who's elderly, is in the hospital. And what I tell people I usually turn it off, but here's what's going on in my life. If it's all right with you, I'm going to keep it on silent and I might have to grab it. And everybody's fine with that.
Yeah. Well, because you've outlined the expectations of what might be happening. Right.
Yeah. So, but most of the time, if I'm in a meeting, my phone's off.
Right.
And we have to do that. But the other thing, when we're on vacation, right here, we're talking Phil Knight right there. He's the owner of Nike. He might just be, I just want to enjoy the game.
Yeah. You know what he's thinking? He's sitting there going, gosh, how much money am I making right now?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Michael Jordan. Yeah. But he's that, but he might just be enjoying the game. How many times have you been on vacation, or I'm talking to everybody, where I have my phone on 24/7? Well, you know what? When I was younger, but now I don't.
Well, it's true. I take my cell phone at about 6:30-ish.
Yep.
I put it on the charger and I don't even look at it.
Yep.
Right. And, so it's, I don't know. It's just one of these things that everybody has to feel like they have to stay connected. And I'm like, you know what? It'll wait till tomorrow. I don't need to know. So,
but I'm on vacation now. In sales, we say you're on vacation. There's always something you got to do. Yeah. But I limit it. Usually by 10:30 in the morning, I'm done.
Yeah, right.
But I don't mind. I'm on my computer. I'm sitting outside. If I'm at my parents' place in Florida, I'm sitting outside by the pool in a bathing suit, and that's all right. And 10:30, done. Anything else, they call the office.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we have one last topic, and it's the most fun one today.
It is.
So get ready. I'm sure everybody's got their keyboard ready to throw in what they think. Super Bowl predictions. If you guys didn't know, the Super Bowl is Sunday. How could you miss it? And by the way, I live here in the city that is being played, and there's no escaping it. So anyway, we would love to know your predictions. And just because I thought it would be fun, okay, let me get this dialed up. I asked ChatGPT some predictions. Now, we got 10 questions, and we would love to know what you guys think about these. I'm sure we're going to get all types of different answers, but everybody's talking about ChatGPT, so I thought it might be fun to ask ChatGPT the predictions. And of course, I emailed it to myself so I could share it, and that would be on the show. So here's my prompt for the 2023 NFL Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. List the top 10 things to bet on and the predicted winners. And you can see that AI doesn't think much of the Eagles. I don't know if this is accurate or what. This is just the response that I gave. Okay. So let's just throw that out there. And so we've got the money line bet, the point spread bet, the over under. I said take the over. First team to score is the Chiefs. The longest touchdowns, the Chiefs. The highest scoring quarter is the Chiefs. Most interceptions caught, Chiefs. Most field goals made, Chiefs. Most passing yards, Chiefs. And the MVP is Patrick Mahomes. This is going to be interesting when the Eagles win. And ChatGPT is completely wrong, but I just thought it might be fun to kind of throw that out there. So both Alan and I have prepared predictions. So let's show that. So Alan says, what'd you say? Yeah, you're muted.
I think it's going to be a very close game. I think Philadelphia could win this, I think. But I think the Chiefs will. And I think they're going to come to play. It's going to be a very close game. It's not going to be a big spread. There's going to be only about 3 to 7 points. So I'm going Chiefs 28-21.
Yeah, right. Well, here's my prediction is Chiefs 35-20. But I think the real winner in this game is the Kelsey brothers' mother.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Somebody was saying they should get her to flip the coin.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a riot. Yeah.
You know, and have those two boys as the captains, right? I think talk about fantastic TV. I think that would be the most winning moment of the whole game.
They should. So Super Bowl, if you're listening to us, get Mom Kelsey out there and have her do it.
Right.
And mention Q&A with Alan and Marshall.
All right, so we got some comments, which we put it out there. And by the way, we want to know who you think is going to win. Any of those questions I asked ChatGPT, if you want to share your thoughts on that, throw those in there also. So we've got some comments. So Brandon says, glad to be here. Yes, he's in Vegas. Sean's here.
Hey, Sean.
Hi, guys.
Georgia.
Lakeisha's here. Hey, good to see you. Sean says, that's this weekend? Holy crap. Brandon says, Chiefs.
Yep.
Brian says, I'm just hoping for a good game. Hi, LOL. Just kidding. Go Chiefs. Dean says, go Birds. Right?
Eagles. So, yeah.
There you go. I think it's going to be a very interesting game. Hopefully it's going to be a really close game, and it would be so awesome if it went into overtime and all that. I think if that happens, you know, as viewers, we're winners, because let me tell you who my team is this one, the Dallas Cowboys, who haven't smelled the Super Bowl since Troy Aikman played, right? So, you know.
I think you know what? If it's a close game, the losers are going to be hot market printing going, oh my gosh, it's going down to the wire. When you're hot market printing, you do not want to see overtime.
Yeah.
Because that just cuts into your time to get it going and out the door.
Popcorner's Breaking Bad commercial is the winner. I haven't seen that.
Yep.
So there you go. There's marketing thrown in there. We didn't even ask about marketing.
Oh, right? Yeah, exactly.
I predict the first commercial will be a beer.
Probably, usually. And there's always usually a new company that comes in big.
Yeah, that's after kickoff, by the way. So before kickoff doesn't count. After kickoff, I predict beer.
Yep.
So. And I will be having a beer after kickoff. Probably more than one.
Yeah. It's gonna be a time. So
yeah, and after work today, I'm going to the grocery store to see what's on sale for me to throw into the smoker. My prediction is ribs, but we'll see.
I think always just do a brisket.
Huh?
Always do a brisket.
Well, brisket's like all day, man.
Yeah.
So I do the 3-2-1 method, and so you know, that's way shorter.
Yeah, true. Ribs are shorter.
Yeah,
Chicken
you don't have to cook a giant like thing. It's just flat, right?
Yep.
So it's better, right? But anyway, so we love your game day predictions. And then we've got time for one last thing, which is that we've got some Shirt Lab workshops coming up. I kind of want to throw that out there. So our first one is going to be next Thursday, which is all about strategic bookkeeping. So what this means is if you have challenges with how you're looking at your financial numbers, we have got an expert for you. So Ian Price Murphy is a profit first professional, and she's going to be sharing how you can think about your chart of accounts, how you think about profit, how you think about a bunch of stuff. It's a little bit about profit first in there, but she's really going to help you out. Plus, she is answering questions. So from a business owner or anybody that touches your money, this could be a really good workshop for you. And this is going to be on February the 16th. It's $97. But if you're a Shirt Lab Tribe member, it's free. So we always want to promote Shirt Lab Tribe, which is our mastermind group. So please sign up. That's going to be on Thursday, February the 16th. And this is at 3:00 Eastern. So because I'm in Arizona, it shows up as my time. But anyways, 3:00 Eastern. So please get signed up for that. And then the other one we wanted to talk about is this one, which is ChatGPT best practices. This is going to be on February the 28th. This is a little cheaper. It's $37. It features Allie Banholzer, Tom, and me, and we're going to be walking everyone through how to use this. This is not the design part, okay? This is just the text. This is using text. We're going to give examples, some prompts that you can use, some best practices you can use. Both Allie and Tom have really done a lot with ChatGPT since the craziness happened, and they've revamped a lot of things in their businesses. So they're going to be sharing what they do. I'm more or less the glorified host. So anyway, so that's going to be at the end of the month, which is February the 28th. I believe that's a Tuesday at 3:00 Eastern. So please sign up for that. Again, if you're a Shirt Lab Tribe member, it's no cost to you. So we would love to see you at both of those. And both of these, by the way, will be in the Shirt Lab Tribe library. We will not be posting these on YouTube. So if you want to see either one of these, you're going to need to either sign up or join Tribe. So
And you know what? Our sponsor, GSG, is also a sponsor of Shirt Lab.
Yeah. So huge shout out to them. I love the fact that they're really involved in the community and they're highly interested in making this industry better. So kudos to them. And also Peter with M&R is on here, and they just stepped up their sponsorship to the silver level. So we appreciate them as well. Thanks, Peter, for that.
Talk about two companies that are present in the industry right there. Yeah.
So all right. Sean says 3, 2, 1 for the win. Yep, it's the easiest way to do ribs. Mark says Workday Rockstar is the best commercial so far. Okay, haven't seen it. Can't wait.
Yep.
And Dean says, any plans to cover the art side of AI soon? As perfect for DTG. Yes. So Michelle Moxley Ruby is going to be doing a workshop for that. And I don't know the date off the top of my head. I want to say that's April. Hold on. I believe that's going to be March the 30th, but I think we might have a conflict, so we might be moving that. I'm going to be in Atlanta that week, so and I want to be part of that one, so I think we're moving it. So a new date coming. So Anyway, so yes, we're going to be doing that. And if you know anything about Michelle, she's doing a lot of really fantastic work. There is a spectacular article on the Ink Kitchen blog that she has written. There's lots of posts about that. That's all over. And huge kudos to M&R for allowing her the freedom to get in the sandbox and build some stuff. Right.
Yep.
So lots of really great stuff there. And she's going to be showing it's going to be a beginner level. Here's how you do it. It's not going to be advanced, like she's like so much more advanced than everybody else, but where she's going to be showing how to get started and what you do and how to build your little recipes and all that. That's what we're going to be doing.
Cool.
So that's going to be sometime in March or April. My guess is April. So
Marshall,
thank you for the question, Dean.
I have a question about ChatGPT in the Super Bowl. So let's say Philadelphia wins and just upset it. Do you go into ChatGPT? What did you think about the Super Bowl and your predictions? Will it come up and say, yeah, we missed it?
No, because it doesn't think. It's just all it does is scrape information off the internet and throw it at you.
Okay.
Right? And so I don't even know if I put that same question in now, would it give me the same response? I have no idea. Right. And I just thought it was going to be a humorous thing to post.
Yeah, it was good.
And I've been using Chat GPT a little bit. I actually wrote a blog article about that last week. I wanted to see if, because I write a lot, if you could emulate how I write and sound like me.
It's pretty good.
It finished the article, but I didn't think it sounded like me. And I think the also thing you have to know about Chat GPT is it doesn't have your memories or your thoughts. It is only as good as the information you load it with or the data that it's using.
Yep.
So if you know things that it doesn't know, it's never going to say that. So if you have an example of something in the back of your mind, it isn't going to read your mind and put that in the article, right? Yeah. It won't know it, right? So I think it has a lot of really great uses. And the way I've been explaining it to people, it's like using a calculator for math.
Yep.
Okay. You should know how to do it in your head, but math is hard. Use a calculator. How to write things is hard. Use Chat GPT. It can be easier. I mean, to me, it's the same thing. It's just a tool, right? And it's only as good as how you use it, right? Just like a calculator, like if you press the buttons wrong, which I do all the time, which is why my calculator's got the big fat buttons.
I have the little ones, so I make mistakes all the time.
I don't like the little ones. I like the big fat buttons.
Well, I use the one on my phone a lot too.
Yeah, the one on your phone still has tiny buttons. I like the big fat buttons because I don't ever hit the buttons right. So, And then Brian says ChatGPT isn't connected to the internet, uses everything before 2021. Yeah, so maybe that's why it gave me the answers that I gave. Sure. I don't know. So, who knows? Good point, Brian.
Yeah.
See, it doesn't know. It just doesn't know.
It doesn't know what it doesn't know.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, all right. Well, cool. So, where are you watching the game, Alan?
I'll be watching it here at home. If you haven't seen, my house is up for sale. I'm going to be downsizing.
Can other people buy your house if they're watching? Would you entertain somebody right now buying your house?
You have to go through a real estate agent. So talk about cool marketing. No offers are being accepted nobody's seeing it until tomorrow. It's been on the market for a week. There are already scheduled showings. And no offers will be reviewed until Monday. There is an open house Super Bowl Sunday in the morning, 12
Are you going to have nachos and stuff?
I will not be here. On open houses, they do not want the owner there.
Now, are you going to do the trick where before you leave, you bake cookies so the whole house smells like
cookies? I thought
we did that, and that really helped when we sold our house in Tallahassee. So.
Yeah, maybe I should.
Just bake the Toll House cookies. Don't invent anything. Just go buy the tube and throw them on a cookie sheet and bake them and leave them on a plate and then leave. And now your whole house smells like cookies.
I should do that. But my house is on Facebook if you want to see it. If you want to move to Davison, Michigan, have at it.
Yeah. Sean says all your neighbors are going to be checking you out.
Because they smell cookies.
No, just because they want to see, wow, what's this guy like? What's,
my neighbors all know me, and they're welcome to come here anytime.
Yeah.
So, and have been. Most of them have been in the house. So,
yeah.
I'm one of those guys. I have nothing to hide. So,
yeah.
It's a great neighborhood.
Well, cool. All right. Well, great. Well, I'm going to be cooking, and then I'm going to be also unpacking stuff in the garage this weekend, I think.
Yep. We got to give a little shout out to Marshall to your new furniture, your new chair and bookshelf.
Oh, yeah. I got a new chair. I got bookcases. I got look at this. I got my desk. It's a standing desk. I did a couple appointments this week where I stood up, instead of sitting in a chair the whole time. It was really good. And so I've been wanting my old desk. I stood up a lot, but it was too short.
Right.
Because I don't know if not everybody knows, but I'm not a tiny person. And so it was too short for me when I stood up. So now I don't have this issue because this thing I bought at IKEA, it really goes up there. Right. And so it's going to really work for me.
That is one of the funniest things, Marshall, when, they see us together here, but we very rarely are in the same place together, except a trade show usually.
Yeah.
And, I am a big guy. I'm 6'2", a little over. And then when people see us together, they just realize how huge you are. Marshall, because you're like 3 or 4 inches taller than me. You're 6'6"?
No, well, I used to be 6'5", but now I'm older. As my son will tell you, I'm 6'4.5".
Yeah, so
I've shrunk.
I was closer to 6'3", 6'2.5", and I'm slightly under 6'2" now. But yeah.
All right. So, all right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for joining us. I see Brandon's already leaving. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, guys, for great information. See you soon. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
We will talk to you guys. Of course, I'll be talking to you guys next week. And
I'll be here next week.
Oh, next week. So it's the week after, right?
Yep. 23rd, I leave.
So anyway, we'll see you guys soon. And we'll hopefully have a good Super Bowl. Anxious to see if my predictions come true. All I know is the Dallas Cowboys will not be winning.
Yeah. Detroit Lions are not even close.
Yeah. So both our teams are need some improvement. But I'll tell you, the Chiefs do. They have stolen my number one team, which is the Florida State Seminoles. They have stolen our war chant. We want it back, and they don't even do it right. They don't do the chop right. They just come on.
So, see, but I remember the Atlanta Braves had that like years and years.
The Braves stole it from the Seminoles. So, and they didn't do it. The reason the Braves started doing it is Deion Sanders started playing for the Braves. That's when it happened.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, anyway, like us or hate us, it came from my team. So, anyway, thanks, guys, and we will see you next week. Have a safe weekend, and I predict the Chiefs win.
I think the Chiefs will win, but I think I think it'll be close. Philadelphia could upset.
Yeah, so if just because I said the Chiefs going to win, that's why the Eagles will. So that's why I don't bet on sports.
Me neither.
All right, you guys take care. See ya.
Bye-bye.